this YouTube stuff is a totally different life. It's not like the streets. It's not like your family and friends. Like, this is different, and nobody else can know what I'm talking about unless you do what we do. And I'm talking about and honestly, nobody could know what we do because nobody's been at the level that we've have been and what we've achieved.
In the previous videos, we've only scratched the surface, just the tip of the iceberg of what's really going on in this twisted and tragic story. But after diving deep into over 30 hours of live stream footage and online content, I can confidently say this case is far more chaotic, layered, and disturbing than I ever expected. What I've uncovered feels like stumbling out of a fever dream from the land of the unhinged. This video isn't going to be a short one because it can't be. The details I've found are wild, conflicting, and demand to be laid out clearly. The subscribers themselves have started beefing, and now it's not just about the main players anymore, it's about the entire web of personalities, loyalties, lies, and betrayals. I've tracked different narratives, especially from those who were there from the very beginning, and I'm going to walk you through a full timeline of events. Was this just a Bone and Clyde situation gone wrong? Who were these people really? What was this feud actually about, and is there a possible mastermind pulling strings behind the scenes? Let's get into it. I'm going to present you with a lot of details, some shocking, some subtle, but all of them important to understanding how this entire situation unraveled. So I asked for your patience. Follow along carefully because throughout this video, I'll be breaking it down step by step, strategically laying out the events, the key players, the hidden motives, and how it all spiraled into what we're seeing today. Trust me, by the end, it will all make sense. To truly understand how all of this began, we need to go back to the origins of Manny Wise's YouTube presence. While his channel has since been deleted, I've gathered first-hand reports and tracked down some of the surviving videos that give us a glimpse into the early days. Manny started out innocently enough, live streaming the nightlife, buildings, and tourist attractions along the Las Vegas Strip. His content began to attract attention, especially from viewers fascinated by the raw, unpredictable energy of life in Sin City. As his popularity grew, Manny leaned further into the Vegas spectacle, often dressing in eccentric costumes and becoming a recognizable figure on the Strip.
Back then, he was different. The dude was very entertaining, funny, would do hot dog challenges, just a bunch of funny shit going around, interviewing people, asking them crazy questions. This is Manny.
Eventually, he wasn't moving alone anymore. He started forming a community around him, a mix of friends, fans, and fellow streamers who called themselves the Sin City family, or as some called it, the Sin City Farmily. So, who exactly are the Sin City family? Believe it or not, it's a group that includes literal clowns and entertainers who roam around Las Vegas streaming their antics. Names like Mr. Marcus, Baby Khaled, Jerome, and Melissa come up frequently in this circle. But at the helm of it all was Manny Wise, the face and leader of the group. They moved together through the city like a roaming performance troupe, portraying themselves as a close-knit streaming family. However, as with many rising online personalities, things began to shift. Manny's popularity skyrocketed, and for some, it seemed like the fame was starting to go to his head. That perception would play a key role in how tensions began to build, both inside and outside of the Sin City family, eventually leading to feuds, confrontations, and the dark unraveling we're examining now. Before we move on, it's important to understand one crucial thing. Manny Wise's entire world revolved around YouTube. His identity, relationships, and daily activities were tightly woven into the platform. It wasn't just a job, it was his life.
And another thing you guys need to know about Sin City family, Manny especially, he's in it for the numbers. That's what I've been hearing, and that's what it seemed like to me too. He's in it for the numbers. Subscriber count, likes, whatever. Super chats, whatever. He's in it for the numbers.
Because, this is what we do for a living, guys. We are entertainers. We are influencers. This is what we do for a living. This is how we pay our bills. This is what we've been doing for over 3 years straight. And we don't want to stop doing it. We want to look for...
He was King Dog. I mean, he was the shit as far as that community, the Vegas community and the Arizona mix, whatever. He was that person as far as live streaming in that community.
Now, here's where the story gets complicated. Over time, some of Manny's closest online friends and even loyal subscribers began to notice a shift in his behavior. What started as minor personality changes eventually snowballed into more volatile actions. Feeling alienated, a faction of former supporters and friends turned against him.
It's because at Manny's kind of started acting different. Everybody left because Manny started acting different when he got on top.
Many of them decided to launch their own streaming channels, not just to express themselves, but to actively compete with and draw engagement away from Manny.
You put people on stage, and then they get so confident and you know, addicted to that being on the screen that they want to push you off the stage.
This new wave of streamers included names like Miss Sarah, D-Ware, K. Pegram, and Nurse V. Although they initially struggled to gain the same traction Manny had, their existence created a new opposition movement that was vocal and persistent.
But what do? Oh, look at him on his fucking toy, or look at that piece of oh, I wonder who bought it, and na. He's not making no money, you see? Look at him, blah, blah, blah. For months, and then he stopped.
As the pressure mounted, Manny's live streams began to take a darker turn, more erratic, more aggressive, and increasingly unhinged. One major turning point that deeply impacted his reputation was a disturbing on-stream incident where Manny and his crew were seen pushing an elderly man. Manny later claimed the man had simply fallen, but the damage was done. Many of his subscribers witnessed it live and were appalled. The incident fueled the growing camp, further isolating him from his former community.
Whoever we subscribe to is none of Manny's business. You hear that, Manny? Whoever us former subscribers subscribe to is none of your business.
Although the new channels created by the opposition initially lacked the power to directly threaten Manny's dominance, the cracks were forming, and everything began to truly unravel after the confrontation between Bubbly and Manny on the Vegas Strip, a moment that would become a catalyst for everything that followed. Now, a name that continues to surface in all corners of the saga is D-Ware, a former NFL player turned party promoter. D-Ware has become one of the most vocal and financially supportive figures in the anti-Manny Wise movement, often dropping some of the highest super chats to streamers opposing Manny. Many believe he's not just a supporter, but the alleged mastermind behind what's been dubbed the Anti-Manny Club. There are serious allegations suggesting that D-Ware went as far as hiring private investigators to dig into the personal lives of Sin City family members. These claims, while unconfirmed, are being widely discussed in comment sections and live chats. The intention, according to multiple sources, was to gather intel and stir enough chaos to provoke a reaction from Manny online, something that appears to have worked based on Manny's increasingly erratic behavior on his live streams. What makes D-Ware's involvement even more intriguing is the fact that he and Manny were once very close. Their falling out was sudden and shrouded in mystery, with no one publicly revealing what exactly caused the split.
Okay, I left Manny for my own reasons.
Yeah, I'm Finny. No information.
Here's what I'm saying. It wasn't Finny that just pushed Manny. If I was there with Finny, I would have probably got the bullets first. Trust me on that. He hated me. This was doing to him. But he had it coming.
But during that time, another critical layer was added to the conflict. Sarah, another streamer who had started going live on the strip, reportedly became a target of harassment by Manny Wise. As several commenters pointed out in our previous video, and now backed by new evidence, it's been confirmed that Bubbly approached Manny intentionally. According to an eyewitness, she confronted him specifically to address his ongoing harassment of Sarah. This strongly suggests that the initial pepper spray incident was not a coincidence. The big question now is, was it all orchestrated from the start? This adds serious weight to the theory that the pepper spray incident wasn't accidental or spontaneous, but part of a broader plan to call Manny out and possibly orchestrate a public showdown. But the biggest question still lingers. Was it orchestrated from very start? And if so, by who?
So tell us, I want you to tell us why he pepper sprayed his wife. We listening.
Okay, this is why. Bubbly, her name is Tanisha. I'm with them at the time. I rode up to Fremont with them. We were staying at the Bellagio, not the Bellagio, but the Cosmo. So she's drinking. Finny don't drink at all. He don't drink. He smokes weed, but he don't drink. She's drinking. She a little bubbly. She having fun. You know, she got that liquor in her. We're at a circle. It's called Clyde Circle, where he plays music. Everybody, the streamers, everybody hangs around over there. We're right there. And I could see that she's kind of on one. And he's streaming. This is his first time really kind of trying to get into the streaming thing. And he's focused on his streaming. And then he gives the camera to her. And she starts moving around. I asked him, I said, dude, you want me to look out for her? Because she kind of, she's kind of on one. He's like, nah. I'm like, he say, no, I ain't going to go look after his wife. That look like some shade. So, okay, got you. So she ends up in Manny's face talking about why you got to mess with Sarah? Sarah's another streamer.
So from what D-Ware is saying in this video, we can gather that Finny and Bubbly were originally part of Manny Y's subscriber base, specifically the faction that eventually broke away when they noticed a shift in Manny's personality and behavior. That group decided to start their own streaming efforts in response.
Let's go back.
Who was Sarah to them?
To just a streamer.
So she don't really know Sarah. They're not related. They're not from the same city.
They kind of know. Everybody knows each other from Manny's page or Manny's streams. Because on one Halloween, everybody kind of came out there and got together, met each other, and had fun. So everybody, you know,
So
they ain't friends or nothing, but they know each other.
Bubbly.
Bubbly.
Finny's girl, Bubbly, the one I was on the live the other night, approaches Manny before it was any Manny and Finny conflict and says, why you bothering Sarah, another streamer that has nothing to do with her or her husband?
They know each other. Right. I see where you're getting at. They know each other. Bubbly's the type of girl that defends the people that won't defend themselves.
Bubbly the type of girl that don't know her place.
However you want to say it.
What did Finny say?
However you want to say it. Finny, after the shit, after she did that, let me just get to it. Finny told her, don't be doing that shit. Sarah could defend herself. Up, blah blah blah, and apologize. Okay, let me just go to what Finny did while the shit's happening. Okay,
there we go.
Bubbly's in Manny's face, basically like, why you with Sarah? She don't bother nobody. Blah blah blah. Manny pushes. I mean, it's all on tape. Manny basically pushes her camera out of his face or whatever. Like, you know, he don't touch her. He touches the camera. And it stirs her up a little bit more, so she gets more in his face. Now, at this time...
Now, according to D-Ware, the night of the pepper spray incident was actually Finny's first live stream. He claims there was no premeditated plan to confront Manny that night. Instead, it all escalated unexpectedly because Bubbly was intoxicated and, upon seeing Manny on the strip, decided in the moment to approach him. So, if we go by this version of events, the confrontation wasn't orchestrated, but rather an impulsive act sparked by Bubbly's state and the tension that had already been brewing behind the scenes.
First of all, I don't understand why my husband gave me the camera, because I was like drunk, right? I've taken like multiple shots of Patron and I've been like drinking Modelo's all night. And my husband gave me the phone. And I had already been pissed about Manny going up to to Sarah and acting like Sarah can't video them on Fremont Street, as if Fremont Street isn't a public street where if you're there and you potentially get videoed, you just potentially get videoed. So I'm like, let me see if this guy is going to tell me that I can't video him. Should I have? Probably not. I've just been drinking, and you just be drinking. And
so now you see how we got to the pepper spray incident. If you're not familiar with that altercation between Bubbly and Manny, be sure to check out my previous video where I broke it down in full detail. That moment was a major turning point, not just in the ongoing drama, but in the power dynamics between Manny and the growing opposition known as the Anti-Manny Club. One key figure in that opposition was Finny, who quickly gained traction due to his humor, charisma, and relentless mockery of Manny Y and his wife. Finny openly accused Manny of exploiting his subscribers and running his YouTube channel like a cult.
Why am I letting this person tell me what TV channel I can put on? And then I gotta worry if he catches me. He told me I wasn't allowed to see the YouTuber, the other Mark, when I went to Vegas. If he caught me visiting Mark, I would be kicked out of Sin City Family. And
Those who felt slighted, used, or discarded by Manny found refuge in Finny's channel. For many of them, this wasn't just online drama, it was personal. Over time, Finny's platform evolved into more than just an opposition stream. It became a support group of sorts, a community bound by shared resentment and betrayal. According to a former close associate of Manny, he had reportedly blocked over 3,000 of his own subscribers, many for simply voicing disagreement or questioning his decisions.
He recruited me and several other people to go into Finny's chat silently and find out who was in there. If there was a Sin City family person in there, he would say, you know, get me a screenshot of, let's say, Jimmy being in that chat. And then he would immediately kick that person out of Sin City family, ban them, block them, or whatever. So I was like his secret spy.
This fueled widespread allegations that Manny ran his YouTube channel like a dictatorship, silencing any form of dissent and isolating himself from the very people who once supported him. That mass exodus became the foundation of Finny's following. Those 3,000 plus blocked and silenced viewers found solidarity, validation, and a collective voice on Finny's streams. There, they shared stories of how they felt used or emotionally manipulated by Manny, mocking and laughing at him not just for entertainment, but as a way to reclaim their power. What began as parody and reaction videos morphed into a tribe of the disillusioned, united not only by their dislike of Manny, but also by their desire to make sure he couldn't ignore their voices anymore.
Left it. And I continued to watch Finny's channel, and I realized these aren't people hating on Manny. These are people that were hurt by Manny, and they're coming to Finny, and they're telling their story of what Manny did to them. And there was 100 different stories, and they were all a little bit different. They all pretty much revolved in, you know, how much money can you give me? How much gifts can you give me? How many hotel rooms can you give me? And if not, you goodbye.
For 18 months, this feud escalated online, marked by copyright strikes, income losses, and growing support for Finny's side.
Okay, so let me just say the other side. Manny had emailed Bubbly's job to get her fired. He actually started another website to gather it for his followers and subscribers. Hey, I want you guys to help me. Find Bubbly's address, find Finny's address, find where they work. He even was like, call the NFL, see if we can get Derek to lose his pension. That's me. My wife's a nurse. Try to find out where she works. Let's get her fired. Manny was shit, but people don't talk about that. What really triggered Finny to go hard on Manny, honestly, what really triggered him was when he emailed the job. Like, Bubbly had apologized and said, you know, my bad, blah, 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 and didn't even get on stream anymore.
See, that's what's crazy.
It's been reported that Finny was earning up to $100,000 from his live streams, while Manny's channel engagement declined significantly.
Y'all took about $100,000 a year from me, super chats alone, right?
I didn't take shit. Don't say y'all. Come on. Don't say y'all. This is what I'm saying.
Bro, when you told him how to kill his money.
I didn't get a dime from Finny. I actually donated money to his channel. So let's not say that.
When you told him how to kill his money.
D-Ware's role has long been debated. Many in the community believe he was the puppet master, pulling strings behind the scenes to keep the feud alive. However, there's now a twist. In a recent video by Finny himself, he seemed to confirm that D-Ware had actually stepped away from the trolling months ago, claiming he'd lost interest in the back and forth and had no desire to continue fueling the chaos. According to Finny, D-Ware was done with it until just 2 weeks ago. Why the sudden shift? Allegedly, Manny made a personal and inflammatory comment about D-Ware's child, which reignited tensions and pulled D-Ware back into the spotlight.
One thing about D-Ware got a big voice in this. He like a mean uncle, so everybody ain't gonna like his. But one thing about him, when he speak, he got a voice. He been laying down. He ain't been saying since for 3 weeks. This Manny comes today and puts a message to his son on the community post, talking about his daddy. D-Ware ain't been around and Lord knows when. Why would you want to bring back a sleeping giant? So now that's one extra. We already on your head, fool. Why would you want to get him back on your head? But they give D-Ware so much power. They think he behind the scenes doing stuff. So yeah. So guess what I did? Just like a little female, I forwarded right over to him. Now he's back, y'all.
Since it now appears that D-Ware may not be the true mastermind, just another complex piece in this chaotic puzzle, we move on to another layer of this tangled narrative. Let's rewind to 2 months before the final tragic encounter. During that time, Manny and Finny had yet another public run-in. In this altercation, Manny pushed Finny from behind. Finny didn't retaliate. Instead of engaging physically, he took a different route. He reported Manny to the police, and Manny was arrested on what was believed to be a misdemeanor charge. Still, this didn't stop Manny. He kept posting videos online, mocking and threatening Finny, escalating his rhetoric.
Let me get you at a red light, Finny. That fat boy over there in Arizona, somebody got checked on. Send me the picture. I want to see that. Somebody got to do it. Teach him in there. Then you know he's in there. Remember, you guys gonna get attacked.
But Finny didn't take it seriously. And can you blame him? Finny stands at a reported 6 feet 4 inches, while Manny is around 5 feet 2 inches. Their previous interactions were mostly filled with empty threats and minor physical provocation. Nothing serious. Finny never fought back, likely thinking that responding with force would come off as bullying, or maybe he just didn't see Manny as a real threat.
The thing about it, bro, is after seeing him being right next to him, I am way bigger than him, man. Like, I really don't know. Like, unless he was able to, like, it was his best chance. Like, even if he revved up, like, say we was really fighting, we squared up. Like, even if he revved up, like, he can't even, like, if he wanted to hit me in my jaw, like, it would be so hard for him to reach up there. Like, he's really a small dude, man. Like I get no props, and if we ever do get the lock up, like, if I do beat him up, I get no props. Like, I'm in a lose-lose situation.
This decision tells us a lot. Finny wasn't interested in escalating the drama in the streets. He used the legal system, not his fists, and honestly, he probably felt that was enough. It's also important to highlight one key element that may have shaped Finny's mindset: the heavy police presence on the Las Vegas Strip.
It was First Friday. So First Friday, it's so many police up there. It's so many police in Las Vegas. So it's not just Fremont security. It's police out there, the marshals everywhere. So to think that something's gonna go down, never in my head was I thinking that. Because
that alone likely gave him a real sense of security. The Strip is constantly monitored. Officers are stationed at every corner. Cameras everywhere. So it's understandable why Finny may have dismissed Manny's ongoing threats as just talk, empty words shouted into the void. To Finny, Manny's size, history of bluffing, and the ever-watchful eye of law enforcement meant one thing: Manny wasn't a threat, just a loud nuisance. But tragically, that assumption may have cost him his life. But here's the chilling question we now have to ask. What changed? What happened during those 2 months that turned Manny's behavior from unhinged to deadly? What pushed this long-running online feud from digital jabs to real-world consequences? We're about to unravel that next. In the weeks leading up to the Vegas tragedy, the pressure on Manny Wise seemed to reach a boiling point, especially financially. The feud had long crossed the boundaries of YouTube and was now spilling into other platforms, dragging Manny's digital footprint into chaos. At this point, Manny had already lost monetization on one of his YouTube channels.
Right now, our YouTube channel, it got freaking demonetized, which means we don't make even 1 penny on that channel no more.
A major financial blow that stemmed from ongoing tit-for-tat copyright strikes between him and rival streamers, primarily Finny's camp. To try and recover, Manny attempted to migrate his content to TikTok.
Trying to get that to the live streaming ability. I could live stream from TikTok. It's a platform that is totally different from YouTube,
hoping to capitalize on live streams for income. But even that didn't work. Finny's loyal followers followed Manny to TikTok, relentlessly antagonizing him and reporting his content. In some of Manny's final TikTok posts, he openly lamented his inability to go live, sounding increasingly desperate and emotionally frayed.
Is waning what call? At Alex, did you check?
Emily, that guy, that account is one of my biggest trolls. You should block that person. That person that you just mentioned is one of my biggest.
Wow, congratulations!
He goes on every one of my accounts or anybody that I have friends here and tries to cause trouble all the time. That guy.
Oh, I see.
Come on, y'all. We're a team. We are movement. Let's make our movement to TikTok. He's doing that during the daytime. So East Coast people, if y'all watching on the replay, first off, look at the live chat. Wendy T gonna put her name in there. Go help Wendy T out when she in there. Go help her out. You see, she already doing a great job. Just imagine if she has some more help with some other people.
Because this is what we do for a living, guys. We are entertainers. We are influencers. you know, this is what we do for a living. This is how we pay our bills. This is what we've been doing for over 3 years straight, and we don't want to stop doing it. We want to look for I'm going to branch out to everything and anything I have in my grasp and reach to try and improve my life, my family.
Amid all the chaos, one figure remained consistently and conspicuously present: Julie, Manny's wife. While the feud between Manny, Finny, and their respective camps escalated, Julie was always there, on the streams, in the background, sometimes even at the center of the drama. Her presence wasn't passive. She appeared in multiple live streams, engaging with viewers, defending Manny, and at times adding fuel to the fire. Some saw her as a loyal partner standing by her man, while others viewed her as an enabler who was just as invested in the YouTube wars as Manny himself. Either way, it's undeniable that Julie wasn't just collateral. She was part of the narrative. In fact, Julie became a target of mockery and commentary from Finny's side too, further personalizing the conflict. As Manny's behavior became more erratic and his online reputation continued to decline, questions began to swirl about Julie's influence behind the scenes. Was she trying to de-escalate, or was she standing in the wings, silently co-signing every move? But it's one particular moment that stands out in hindsight. On June 3rd, Julie posted a TikTok video showing her and Manny visiting the Bonnie and Clyde Museum. The infamous criminal duo, lovers and partners in crime, romanticized in pop culture for their loyalty and their lawless end. Was this just an innocent stop during a road trip, or was it a message, subtle or subconscious, signaling how they saw themselves? Outlaws against the world? Two people bound together in love and chaos? Julie and Manny's relationship spans decades. They've been together since she was just 14 years old. Through the years, they built a life and family, raising 3 children together. That kind of history binds people in complex ways. Viewers now revisit that post with a different lens. Was Julie unknowingly foreshadowing the tragic events to come? Or was she fully aware of how deeply Manny had spiraled? Regardless, Julie wasn't just a supportive spouse in the background. She was present in the narrative, embedded in the content, and perhaps even part of the emotional charge behind it all. Whether she was enabling, encouraging, or simply trying to hold things together, her consistent appearance, capped off by the Bonnie and Clyde tribute, raises chilling questions about just how deep she was in it. As the situation spiraled toward tragedy, Julie's silence and continued presence raised eyebrows. Was she simply caught in the middle of a toxic spiral, or a willing participant in a war that had long crossed the line of reason? Julie's behavior on the night of the incident has sparked intense speculation and raised eyebrows across the internet. Many viewers were struck by how unusually calm and nonchalant she appeared in the aftermath of such a violent and traumatic event. In a moment when panic or shock might be expected, Julie was seen casually walking away from the scene and notably holding Manny's jacket. For some, that small detail felt loaded with meaning. Was she just in shock, processing the chaos in her own way? Or did she know more than she let on? The jacket, her composure, and her quiet exit have all contributed to a growing sense that something about her presence that night just doesn't sit right with those following the case.
And I try and teach her, and it's not that I'm saying that they're gonna kill me, but we need to be prepared for anything in this point in life. And it's like she needs to know all this stuff, whether I'm not, whether something happens to me physically, or whether I end up in jail, or whether, you know, whatever. You need to always prepare your loved ones for it.
In the days leading up to the tragic incident, it appears Manny was actively seeking out Finny and Bubbly's whereabouts around Las Vegas, a detail that has raised serious questions about the premeditated nature of the encounter. Multiple reports and eyewitness statements suggest that Manny was moving through the Strip, asking pointed questions about their location, which now paints a troubling picture. Far from a chance run-in, it suggests that Manny may have had this confrontation planned, or at least hoped for one to unfold. This suspicion is further fueled by a video Manny posted just a day before the shooting. What's drawing even more attention in this case is the increasingly strong implication of Manny Wise's ties to gang culture, whether symbolic, performative, or real. In the video posted just a day before the shooting, Manny is seen making a series of hand gestures that viewers with street knowledge immediately recognized as gang signs.
Manuel Ruiz is a gang member. If you look at one of the videos that he posts before he finds Finny, he actually goes like this and makes gang signs like that on his hands, showing that looks like an MS-13 gang sign.
The video doesn't just stop there. He also uses coded language that further adds to the suspicion, most notably a reference to a teardrop, a symbol historically associated with gang members who have taken a life or have a history of violence. In street and prison culture, this is not a phrase thrown around lightly. It's important to note that this wasn't the first time Manny has alluded to gang imagery. Over the past year, clips from his live streams show him flashing signs, using veiled threats, and adopting language common within certain West Coast gang circles. While some have dismissed this as theatrics, an online persona designed to appear intimidating, others now question whether Manny was deeper into a street lifestyle than previously assumed. His constant references to respect, territory, betrayal, and vengeance, especially directed toward Finny and those he deemed traitors, suggest he may have adopted a mindset rooted in gang code. These affiliations, whether actual or mimicked, take on a darker tone when you consider the events that unfolded. If Manny saw the online trolling, defection of former supporters, and Finny's rising popularity as a challenge to his authority or pride in a way gangs perceive betrayal, then this shooting may have been the tragic outcome of a street mentality carried over into digital life. It raises an important question: was this about YouTube drama? Or did it escalate into a warped sense of street justice rooted in a code far more dangerous than simple internet rivalry?
Some people were like, you gotta go show that example what people get when they mess with us. And it's like, nah, I'm going to show them the right way. Because no matter what people say, because imagine if you're trying to go after every person that talk about you.
Many were left stunned by what happened next. In the early hours of Monday morning, Manny Wise, the man seen on video pulling the trigger, turned himself into authorities at a Henderson Police Department station. What shocked the public even more was the fact that he had managed to slip away so effortlessly after the shooting. The strip was crowded that night, tourists everywhere, security, cameras, and yet Manny vanished into the night, stashing the weapon and quietly blending into the chaos. He was later arraigned before a judge, where he claimed the shooting was an act of self-defense. But that claim has been met with widespread disbelief. The video footage circulating online, captured from multiple angles, clearly contradicts his statement. It shows Manny advancing while shooting, not retreating or defending. In the court of public opinion, it's not just unconvincing, it's laughable. Still, the legal process unfolds. Manny was brought before the judge a second time, not to face additional charges, but to request more time to consider hiring a private attorney. The system will run its course, but one question echoes louder than any other. Will justice truly be served in this case? And even if it is, what form could justice possibly take? Finny's mother and son were watching the live stream when he was gunned down. They witnessed a loved one's final breath broadcast in real time, powerless to stop it. Finny and Bubbly were more than streamers. They were parents, grandparents, human beings with lives, families, futures. Manny took that away. In one cold, calculated moment, he erased decades of memories, bonds, and dreams. He didn't just end 2 lives, he shattered many others. So we ask again, what justice can ever be enough for what was lost?
Everybody want to be here, see your family and kids and brothers and sisters grow. Everybody want to be here, see your girlfriend. You know, we all want that. You know,